This time on Woody's Garage, we finally get our bearings straight. Finally.
Okay, so I brought this monstrosity indoors. And I decided to take a look at this, and I've been hitting it a little bit with a wire brush, and you can almost see some threads there, like the threads that are left behind are from the nut and not from the shaft. I'm going to hit a little more with a wire brush. I bought a set of taps, but they're cheap. And they're metric, but I measured that shaft to be 12 millimeters, so I thought a 12 millimeter would fit. And no, it's a little too small for it, but this thing is really crowned over here from the pounding, so I'm going to file that off and see if maybe it'll take it. I don't mind putting a metric nut on there, that's not a big deal. That's a bit rounder. And we're getting closer for that tap to fit, I think. Not revealing any more threads. I'm not sure, but the 12 is going to take a lot more grinding down. I've been at it for a while, trying to get this thing nice and round. Maybe if I go to a 13 or an American, but means I have to get more dies. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if I can tap that bearing out. Alright, I think I'll take a big socket. Too big. Okay, I think I'm going to take this 23 millimeter. Let's see if I can pound it out with this. Feels like it's going. There it is. Everything else. I don't know why this camera looks so dark. I must have screwed something up. But anyway, that bearing's not very good. Okay, this is where we're at today. I got a chance to get back to this thing. If you notice, there's kind of a taper on it. I don't know if there was a taper before and it was just kind of natural to make it go this way, or I just put too much pressure outside here, so I want to try to square it off a little bit. I also want to put a slight bevel here so that it will take the die a little bit better. You know, coming straight into a square thing, there's no place for it to go, so it's kind of hard to start it that way. Yeah. Fuck. I hate this thing. Doing that for a long time, that and filing. Yeah, almost looks like threads. Very coarse. I'm hoping that'll have enough bite for a nut. Feels like it. Does feel like it. I mean, if I could get the pulley back on, then all I gotta do is re-rust it. Because then you don't even need a nut, because that's how stuck it was, right? Let's say the taper is still evident. That could be a good thing, you know, the closer it gets, the tighter it's going to be, and if need be, stick a washer in there, which I think I'll do. I don't have any nuts that fit. I'm going to have to run out and get one, and it's like a big storm out there today, so I'm not going to travel to Home Depot or whatever. But yeah, we got to order the bearing too, but I wanted to make sure that I could thread this before I ordered the bearing. Should do it. Well, we finally got our bearing. God, it took forever. Alright, we got the new bearing. Just like the old bearing, except for it has this collar in it that is removable. So I think I gotta take that out. Ah, the agony. They're not the same. I could almost see it. That hole's smaller than that hole. Yeah, despite the same model number, they have a different inside diameter. Although this one was specified for a Dixon lawnmower. I just figured they were the same with the same number, you know. They're not. I ordered up the right one, so lesson learned there. Make sure you measure it before you buy. Well, alright, we finally got the right bearing in. It was shipped all over the country about 5 times, and then I finally got it. I guess everybody else is having problems with shipping. But it pressed right into this piece. I got it late today, and we got the rest of this stuff here, and I decided to right now, it's dark out, go out and grab the bucket and drag it in here and put it in a place that's no fun to work in and with very low light. I kept all my nuts and bolts in separate cups. As I was taking it apart, you know, like this was the outer part, this is the inner part, etc. And I'm laying them out now so I see what I got, and it's just like, you know, I took it apart a month ago and I can't remember anything. But I think these are to hold in the bearing, so we're going to do that first. There's 3 of them, and I remember I had to cut a screw. There it is. A screw driver notch in there, cut, so that I could get this out. So it's in there loose, and I'm kind of wondering, I got them started with the washers and stuff on. I need the world's longest arms in order to to reach around with a wrench and a socket. So I'm going to look for like 100 extensions on my socket wrench and try to hold this side with my regular wrench. Should be fun. Well, it was easier just to put slots in all of them. Tightens it enough. So next we got to put the auger back in. This has got to fit through that bearing, and I'm hoping that'll be easy. I'm gonna put some lube on that. I get some grease. Let's get to it. Okay, now we're over here. If you can see, I know it's kind of dark. I don't usually work over here. Got to put these guys on too. These go like this, not like this, but like this on the end caps here, and then they bolt in over there through the housing. But I want to put some grease on that to make it even more fun while you're trying to get the shaft through there. And they both kind of have to be done at once, so I'm going to do it. Now we've got in a little ways. It's going to take a little fishing around to get that shaft into the bearing. But I think you get the idea. It's kind of hard to set up a camera here because I have no room. But we're going to have to do some wiggling and see if we can get it in there. We got that much sticking through. Yeah, I know it's a tight fit with this bearing, so might have to stand it up and put a little pressure. I found that rectangle of wood I used to work on Honda 90 engines. I could flip it up on that, I think, and then push and try to get the shaft through. It's about as far as I'm getting it through. I'll try to get some more light on that. That's about as far as I'm getting through, pounding on it. I'm thinking of putting the bolt on, putting something across that doesn't weigh on the bearing, you know what I mean? Just works on that support there and tries to pull it through. I'm going to try that, but I'm not going to force anything, if I can find something to use. Well, doing a lot of pounding and getting nowhere. I have to, I guess, sand that shaft a little bit. That is, if I can get it out. I'm back to where I kind of started from. Yeah, geez. And I don't want to pound too much on the shaft on the other side because it's been beaten so badly before. But we got to get this thing back out. We got it using that punch. Boy, the threads do not look good at all. Feels like there's a bit of a burr along the keyway here, so I'm going to try filing that down. Just sanding the shaft in general. In a way, I wanted a really tight fit, you know, so things kind of wouldn't move around. Here's the old bearing. I don't know, can you see anything in here? My view is very dark, but I don't know what's going on. There should be enough light. This is the old bearing, and it barely fits over the shaft. So I might as well work on this until this goes on okay. God, why is it so dark? Real pain in the ass. So the old bearing is on. It's the tightest up top here. It's probably got mushroom from pounding on it. And it probably isn't the best metal in the world, you know. But I think we can probably get it in now. Because you want it to be a, you know, you don't want it to be a loose fit on the bearing. Yep, pounded it in with that big stake. Like a stake into Dracula's heart. I hope he's not dead though. It's through. These guys are bolted in. I believe there's supposed to be a washer on both sides of this, but I don't have any for it. Might have been apart before and they never put them back in. Or I don't think I lost them. And that's how we look. And the spacer. And there we go. It's a lock nut with the nylon thing at the end, but I also put Loctite in there. And straightened out that brake. I think that's the way it's supposed to be sitting, although it seems like it's got a lot of friction on it. What else? Oh yeah, I want to swap out the... I got some new carriage bolts for the bottom where I put those other bolts in. We'll just put those in instead. Okay, I got those in, but they're a little bit on the long side, so I'm going to cut them off with the cutting wheel. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I think that's all I can do on it until tomorrow. I bring it outside and hitch it up and see if it actually works. Oh, I don't think I mentioned I forgot to put the key in it, so I had to take it apart and put the key in it. Alright, it's the next morning. Drag this thing out of the basement. Boy, it's much heavier with the auger unit in it. This brake thing here, I loosened up on it a little bit and brought it up in its adjustment slot up like this. I thought it was dragging too much on on the pulley. So we'll see how that works out. Put a clamp on the belt. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out, but the belt will be on the pulley. Stuck a screwdriver in one of the holes to hold it. Well, I dragged it out from in there. So it's easier to bolt up now. I'll put the bolts in. And awl is a good tool to help line up the holes. Okay, we got the 3 bolts tightened on both sides. We put on the chute thing, a little rubber cap here at the end. You got your cotter pin. The belt thing didn't work out so good, it slipped off the pulley, so I'm gonna have to stand it up on its front and take the access plate off and try to get it on. You kind of see, you got to kind of work it on, get it around these guides here and through the idler pulley. That should be all set. We'll put the bottom back on. Looks like everything's nice and greasy under here. Okay, here's something I don't really understand. This is that brake piece. It sits on the idler pulley, so when it's pulled in, it rides. You see? But this brake thing that I thought was supposed to be in the middle, maybe it's not supposed to be in the middle. It kind of has a groove. I'll show you on this side. See that groove? It's like that groove's supposed to ride on the pulley. So either way, it kind of clears. It's kind of bent, so if I hear a horrible sound, it might be that thing. Well, as you can see, things are not in alignment, and I'm not quite sure why.
You really screwed it up this time.
This is bad, but I got to put this thing on the back burner because I got to get ready for a storm tomorrow. This is going to flood this place out, melt all the snow on Christmas. So, till next time. Okay, that alignment's better. What I did is I put the spacer on the outside instead of on the inside. Inside meaning facing the auger. So it only took a half an hour to change. Not a big deal. Let's start it up and see if it actually works. appears to work pretty good. What we got to do is take some slack out of this belt here, and we do that by adjusting it right here. There's a nut on the other side, and we're going to push this thing in a little bit here. You can hear the muffler popping a little bit with burning off the oil or something. That should probably do it. Oh, the belt still looks pretty loose. It's a 9/16. Okay, that's a 1/2 inch. Bring the guard in a little bit too. It's got a loose. Oh, that belt seems too long. Something stripped. Yeah, that's stripped. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, that either looks like somebody put some kind of sealer on it. The threads are gone. Or that's the threads inside the motor case, the aluminum. That's exactly what that is. Not sure what I'm going to do to remedy that. Yeah, I found another bolt that has a little more bite. It feels like it's about to strip too, but it's good right there. I'll just leave it. Alright, I ran it a little more. I got the carburetor dialed in a little bit better. Gotta keep working on it a little bit. You know, considering I just changed the oil, it's a little dark, so needs a little running. I'm gonna run it in the next snowstorm. I can't just sell it like this. I gotta make sure that it runs right before I sell it. But I'd say a win finally. So another thing I wanted to do is I wanted to get this wheel freed up. Forgot about that. So I put some tape on the sides to cover the hole that holds the pin. I'm getting some lube down there. I've heated it with the torch and stuff. And it's not free yet, but I'm sure it will. Now another thing, I was trying to think why a brand new carb was running so crappy. So I'm going to drain the gas out of it. Can you see this? In the sun. The other angle was perfect, but there's a lot of water in this gas. And some crud. That's a brand new carb. I mean, that was in the tank, but the tank was dry when I first started. So where'd the water come from? The gas I put in? I don't know. I'm going to drain what's left of it out of there. There's hardly anything left in there. Yeah, it runs a lot better. But that wheel is still stuck.